bet your life. Presented by DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America.
The time has come, it's very clear.
Hold it. There's no point in showing you that picture anymore. A brand new DeSoto is on the way, and it's real exciting. But we let the singers continue.
The most exciting car today will be delighting the far highway. It's the lovely, it's dynamic, it's DeSoto.
It's coming to your DeSoto Plymouth dealers October 30th. The exciting new 1957 DeSoto. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is hand.
Hand?
Hand.
You keep me out of this, huh?
H-A-N-D.
Oh.
And now the one, the only...
Well, here I'm again with a chance for each of our couples to win $2,000 tonight. George, who's place to try for?
Well, Groucho, Mrs. Hazel Hummel and Mr. Jim McKinley are ready to talk to you, so folks, you go in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word, and you each get an extra $50. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Hazel Hummel and Jim McKinley, eh? Well, Jim, you're a fine figure of a man.
Thank you, Groucho.
Are you any relation to the famous President McKinley?
Well, I take that claim, yes, as long as he turned out to be a good president. If he'd have been a horse thief, I'd have denied the whole thing. I would have nothing to do with it.
Well, it so happens I was referring to Sam McKinley, who was a horse thief. He was also president of a very small lodge. Now, Mrs. Hummel, are you related to McKinley?
Well, I can't say I am, Groucho. I would like to.
Well, Hazel, you know, I used to go around with a nut named Hazel. This was some years ago. No, this is true. She wouldn't come out of her shell. Well, which Hazel are you, Hazel? Huh?
I'm Hazel Hummel.
Oh. Well, where are you from, Hazel?
I came from the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado.
Oh, is that so? How did you like Denver?
Well, I was only there 6 weeks, so I couldn't remember very much about it.
So what? I was in Paris only 6 hours, and I can tell you plenty about it. And I was a mile high all the time I was in Paris. You're married, I presume. Is that right?
Yes.
Kind of sheepish about it, aren't you, Hazel? Huh?
No.
What sort of work does your husband do?
Well, he retired as deputy superintendent of the Beverly Hills School.
Oh, really? Well, my children are products of the Beverly Hills school system. I probably know your husband. I've been thrown out of PTA meetings for years. Mrs. McKinley, Mr. McKinley, how old are you? Around 90?
No, I'm around 40, and I'm 42 around.
Oh, 42. Well, do you have
No,
any...
I'm around 40. I'm 42 around, but I'm around 40. Around 40, but I'm 42 around.
I'm supposed to do that to you. Now you're doing it to me, huh? Who's doing what to who? Do you have any secret formula for looking so old, Mr. McKinley?
No.
Where are you from, Jim?
Well, originally, I was born in the... I was only born once, so I'm originally from Detroit.
You look big enough to have been born twice. Are you married, Jim?
Yes, I am.
Did you get married in Detroit?
No, I was married here.
How'd you meet your wife?
Well, some years ago when I was working in a restaurant in Beverly Hills, why, she came in there for lunch. And I noticed one thing in particular about this girl that appealed to me a great deal. She was a very small eater. Mm-hmm. She didn't eat much, and I thought, well, here's the type of girl I could understand.
And that's why you married her, because she was inexpensive to feed?
Well, it was a good consideration, a good reason for getting married. She has many other attributes, but this is a principal thing with me. It leaves more for me.
Well, you're certainly the frankest Scrooge we've ever had up here. I imagine you're the type of fellow who's always having things happen to him, Jim. Am I correct in this kind of snap analysis?
Oh, there have been a few things happen.
Like what, for example?
Well, recently I had a little rub with the law.
Give us a for instance.
For instance, all right. I was parked on Sunset Boulevard, and I'd put a penny in a meter to go in and transact some little business. I wasn't going to be long. And when I came out, why, the meter had expired, and I had a ticket. And I felt I hadn't been gone for 12 minutes, so I decided as long as I'd already gone in the deep and spent a penny, I might as well blow another penny. Mm-hmm. So I put another...
You must be a very wealthy man, I imagine.
The last of the big spenders. Anyway, the very last. I put the penny in and timed the meter.
This is Diamond Jim McKinley standing there. You put the penny in the meter?
I just right in. And I timed the meter. And when it said 12 minutes, all I had was 9 minutes. And this represented a 25% shortage. So I felt...
That's a serious loss.
It is. I mean, you get better odds than that in Las Vegas. So to continue with this thing, the easy thing to do would be to go down, pay the $2, and let it go. But I thought there was a principle involved here, so I deposited the $2 bail and went to court. And the judge was a very understanding man. He threw the whole thing out and gave me my $2 back.
Well, Jim, I want to congratulate you. I'm glad somebody finally struck back at a parking meter. That's what we need, more nonconformists. Have you ever had any other brushes with the law?
Oh, just minor things. I mean, the brushes with the law, it makes me sound like a habitual criminal.
No.
But actually...
Makes you sound like a full of brush man.
Yeah. But, that's good. These brushes with the law...
Well, it's not great, but it'll do. It's certainly on a par with what we've had up to now.
Yeah. The other one, they've all been what they call non-moving violations. I was parked in this passenger loading zone on 3 occasions.
Do you spend all your time parking?
I got the 3 tickets, and there again, the easy thing to do would be to go down, pay the $5 for each ticket. I mean, it's not easy, it hurts, but you pay the $5 for the 3 tickets, and that's it. But I decided that I wasn't sure this was a passenger loading zone, so I went down and looked it up in the city zoning commission room.
You have plenty of time, don't you, huh?
And it wasn't. It wasn't a passenger loading zone. As a matter of fact, there was no ordinance there that would cause a passenger loading zone to be there. So they sent their men out the next day with their buckets and the gray paint and painted it out. And I got my $15 back, and now we don't have a passenger loading zone.
Well, Jim, you deserve a lot of credit. This is the kind of spirit that dumped the tea in Boston Harbor. You've been very fortunate with the police, Jim, and I trust you appreciate it. Now, what is your opinion of our police force?
Oh, I don't think ill of the police force here in Los Angeles, not at all. Matter of fact, I'll say one thing about them out here: they don't hide behind signboards.
No, they don't.
No, they hide behind drive-ins where the hot coffee.
Jim, I know you're only kidding the police. I know you really like them and that you think they're a fine bunch of fellows.
Sure I do.
Remember that when they've got you up there in that gas chamber. Well, I've enjoyed this little chat with you two, and I'd like to go on, but the time has come to play You Bet Your Life. But first, George has a special guest he wants you to meet.
Here's the beautiful star of television and motion pictures, Diana Lynn.
Hello. I'd like to remind you of an important date. It's the day the completely new DeSoto was announced. It's a very exciting car. I've seen it, and I know.
The exciting new DeSoto will be at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers October 30th.
So you be sure you see the new DeSoto on announcement day, huh?
Now, you selected plants, animals, and birds. Is that right? I'll ask you some questions on the subject you selected just before you came out here. If you miss any 2 in a row, you're through. But if you get any 4 in a row right, you win $1,000 plus a chance later on of trying for a total of $2,000 for the night. Is that clear? I'll keep asking questions until you either get 4 in a row right or 2 in a row wrong. And remember, just one answer between you. And here we go. Remember now, your partners, one answer between you. What is the name for a male bee?
A bumblebee, isn't it?
No, that's a can of salmon. No, it's a drone.
You have one wrong. Don't get another one wrong, please.
All right. Now, what are sidewinders, cottonmouths, and diamondbacks?
Snakes.
Snakes is right.
Well, you were 1 right, 3 more to go, and you'll have $1,000.
Now, what do you find in an aviary? A-V-I-A-R-Y.
Birds.
Birds and the bees, that's right.
You're halfway to your $1,000 now. 2 more right.
What are cosmos, cannas, and anemones? Cannon. C-A-N-N-A-S.
Flowers.
That's right, flowers. How many they got right now, Jim?
3 right, 1 more to go, and you'll have $1,000.
Good.
The original teddy bear resembles what Australian animal?
Koala.
That's right, koala bear is right.
Well, you got 4 in a row, so you win $1,000.
Thank you.
You won $1,000. Now, listen to me. You can keep it and quit, or else you can go for $2,000 at the end of the show. If you try for the $2,000 later and miss, you wind up with $500 for the night. It's an important decision. You bet your life.
time is near. It's very clear the car you've wanted is almost here. It's delightful, it's lovely, it's DeSoto. Yes, you'll understand the reasons why. For once you drive it, you want to buy. It's delightful, it's lovely, it's DeSoto. You can tell at a glance that this swell car is far in advance. You can hear that great big engine murmuring low. Raring to go. So make sure you see and drive the new DeSoto. I man alive, it's delightful, it's lovely, it's delirious, it's the living, and it's the latest, it's the limit, it's deluxe, it's DeSoto.
Yes, it's coming. The delightful, the lovely DeSoto for 1957. It's coming October 30th. That's when you'll see the new DeSoto at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Remember that date, October 30th.
George, on with the show.
Oh,
You don't
Groucho?
mind if I call you George? Huh?
No, that's perfectly all right after this length of time. Groucho, Mrs.
Since that's not your real name anyway, I don't know why you should object to that.
Groucho,
What is your full name?
George Fenneman.
No middle name at all?
Yes.
What is it?
That's right.
George, that's right, Fenneman?
No, Watt is my middle name.
George Watt, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
I wish I hadn't told you.
You're not related to Abbott and Costello, are you? Huh?
No.
What is really your name?
W-A-T-T, yes.
Oh, what? Well, what does that derive from?
It's a Scotch name.
Oh. Can you do a Scotch hornpipe?
No.
Scotch dance? We'll go ahead with the show.
Groucho,
You can see I'm not on fatal field here.
I'm glad. Groucho, Ms. Annie Wilkins and...
What, eh?
And Von Corrigian are waiting to talk to you.
Imagine if your last name was Watt, your name would be What? Wouldn't that be silly, huh?
Would you like to talk to these people?
Not particularly, no.
Well, why don't you come in, folks, anyhow, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth. Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and you get an extra $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Huh? I rarely break up, but this really is. Annie, Watt Wilkins, is that your name?
Well, part of it. The name is Miss Annie, M-E-S.
Oh, no. Your name is Vahan Corrigian?
Von Corrigian.
Oh, your name is...
That's right.
Is what?
Von Corrigian.
Von Corrigian.
That's right.
Well, it couldn't be more than Von.
It's
here.
pronounced Von in Armenian, but it's Von in English.
Oh. And you're from where? Armenia?
No, I was born here in Massachusetts.
You were born here in Massachusetts?
I was born in Massachusetts, in a little town.
Is that so?
Watertown, uh-huh.
Watertown.
Yeah.
Well, did you know Mayor Curley up there in Boston?
No, I didn't. No,
Did you know Ted Williams?
Oh, I've heard of him.
But you didn't know him.
I didn't know him, no.
Did you
I'd like
know,
to shake his hand. He's a terrific ball player.
Well, that's not practical. He's in Boston right now.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you get, you said the secret word, which is, no, he didn't, huh? Oh, he said hand, huh? You said Corrigian, and that's the secret word. So you get $50, and Ma Pettingill gets $50. Where's the other 50, kid? Here's $50 for you, too. Now, you take this. This is for you. And I'll see you all later. I'm going. Yes, it sure is. Away! I find you a distraction, huh? I wish you'd find me a distraction. Now, let's see. You're, I'll get back to you in a minute, Mr. Corrigian. You're Annie May Wilkins, is that right?
Miss Annie, M-E-S. Miss Annie Mabel Libby Wilkins.
Oh. Well, that's a rather unusual outfit you're wearing, even for California. I assume there's a reason for this, so let's get on with your story. Annie, where are you from?
Maine?
You're from Maine, huh? Is that so? Huh? How old are you approximately, Annie?
64.
64, huh?
Not 39, and I've lost all my pin feathers.
You're still a young chicken, Annie. Are you married?
No. You don't see any husband along with me, do you?
Well, you can be married, you know, without having your husband tagging along.
Yes, I know that's the modern fashion.
Well, I guess you have to cultivate a taste for marriage. It's like eating olives. Why don't you give it a whirl?
I have twice, and I don't like olives.
Well, how do you know it was olives? Maybe you're nearsighted, and by mistake you married a prune. Well, Annie, isn't it pretty lonesome for a girl of your age to be all alone in the world?
No, not particularly. You see, I've got my horse, and the Lord's up above. That makes two, anyway.
You say you have a horse, huh? Well, that's certainly a big improvement over having a husband. I'd yet to see a husband who could flick the flies off his back with his tail.
I never see one that could.
Well,
Or would if it could.
No. Where is your horse, Annie? Is it back in Maine?
Oh, no. He and I come out here to see California.
It's not this fellow standing here, is it?
No.
How'd you get him out here? Did you send him out here in a trailer?
Trailer? You're talking about a trailer. I rode him out.
You rode him from Maine?
Of course. Maine's just a little ways over a few hills, valleys, and rivers, just on the Atlantic coast.
Well, I never
What do you
thought
want?
of that. Huh? How long did it take you, Miss Annie?
Oh, pretty near 2 years.
Why
Why?
did you take this trip, Annie?
Because I wanted to see California.
Well, how do you like it now? Did you like California?
I wanted to see you, too.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, it's hardly worth 2 years on a horse, huh?
I don't know. I ain't sure what it is.
Well, isn't a trip like that pretty rugged for a woman of your age?
Well, I don't know. I gained 23 pounds on the road.
You did? How much did you gain on the horse?
Well, I don't know what I gained on the horse, but the horse gained 86 pounds in the first 1,600 miles.
Well, who was he riding? Well, tell us about your trip, Annie. This is very interesting.
Well, I come down the east coast on the other side of the Mississippi River as far as Memphis, down as far as Little Rock, intending to get down through Texas.
Did you ride a Western saddle or English saddle?
Army.
How much did your trip cost you?
It cost quite a lot. I started with $32 and landed in North Hollywood with $42.
That's wonderful. You made $10 in 2 years?
Yes?
Now, how did you clean up like that? Did you rob a livery stable during the night, or did you make the horse go around and put the bite on people?
No, I sold folders and postcards.
Oh, is that so? Let's see. Last of the saddle tramps. Well, that's very nice. Can I have this?
Yes, I will give it to
Well,
you
I'd like
since you're
to-
too hard up to buy one. I did hear you.
I'm
Hooray,
not.
Jack Benny.
I'm not hard up, Annie, but I'm just happen to be thrifty. That's all.
So's Jack Benny.
I know, but I have 3 children, and I have to watch every dollar.
Yes, I know.
Well, how much did you sell these for?
Dime.
A dime, huh? Well, I'm going to give you $1 for this one. Is that all right, then?
That's marvelous.
Now, will you take back that insult that you just hurled at me?
Yes, yes.
Well, I want an abject
will-
apology, yeah?
I will. Will you accept my apology?
I certainly will, Annie. You only got a dime apiece for these, huh?
what
You
I
know,
got.
if you'd have dressed like Lady Godiva, you could have gotten a quarter. What are your plans for the future, Annie?
Well, I think I'll saddle old King up and head back to Maine for long.
Well, Ann, you're quite a gal. And when you get back to Maine, I hope you'll drop us a line. Now, you're Vaughn Corrigian, huh? What sort of work do you do?
Well, I'm an upholsterer, sir.
An upholsterer?
That's
what,
right.
what do you do as an upholsterer?
Well, we take in the various types of furniture and start stripping them. We have curved needles and shears, and I think the 2 most important tools are a magnetized tack hammer and a wad of tacks in the mouth.
I hate that word tax. I wish you wouldn't say it. Always makes me think of April 15th. There's no escape from this. Well, isn't that risky, having a lot of tacks in your mouth?
No.
Suppose you get the hiccups and you swallow one.
Well, everybody asks me about that, but I just have to tell them it doesn't make any difference whether I swallow them or not, because they don't cost too much anyway.
Well, that'll teach me to cross wits with an upholsterer. Now, do you do anything else besides outwitting quizmasters?
Well, I like to do imitations.
Let's hear one of your imitations, huh?
Well, fine. I'll like to have you guess this one. First one.
You want to get in on this, too, and guess, too, huh?
Time after time, I tell myself that I'm so lucky to be loving you.
Nelson Eddy?
No.
No?
Frank Sinatra.
Oh, Sinatra. Well, do another one, huh?
Okay.
That was pretty good. I like that.
I went walking down by the river, feeling very sad inside, when all at once I saw in the sky.
No, I know at that time it was... Couldn't fool me that time. That was Nelson Eddy. Wasn't it?
Johnny Ray.
Gosh. Well, Vaughn, do you do anybody else that I could possibly recognize?
Well, I have a favorite that I like to do.
Not Nelson Eddy?
No. This is Frankie Lane, and he's accompanied by Spike Jones and his City Slickers. It goes something like this. To spend one night with you in our old rendezvous and reminisce with you. That's my desire.
I must say you're the most talented upholsterer I've ever met. And I predict you'll be getting an offer from Paramount the first thing in the morning. I was over to Paramount the other day, and I know their furniture, all their furniture needs reopening. How did you like that, Miss Annie? Oh, I thought you were asleep through this. Well, you're an interesting couple, and I'd like to go on talking to you two, but the time has come for you to win some money. But before you do, I want to take about 20 seconds for an important reminder. The most exciting car today will soon be seen on the far highway. It's the lovely, it's dynamic, it's the DeSoto. The exciting new 57 DeSoto is coming October 30th. See it then at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, I'll ask you some questions, and if you miss 2 of them in a row, you're out. You understand it?
I probably missed
Okay. Oh, well, I don't think so. Now, if you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000 between you, plus a chance later of going for $2,000. Is that clear? All right, well, here we go. Let's go, and good luck to everybody on land and sea. You selected plants, animals, and birds. Well, you ought to be pretty good at this. You've been sounding like a lot of them over there. I'm going to keep asking questions until you get 4 in a row right or 2 in a row wrong. And remember, just one answer between you. Are you ready? Here we go. How many stomachs has a cow?
4.
You got to give me the money back.
What'd she say?
That's right, yes. She says 4 stomachs. Huh?
Well, you have 1 right, 3 more to go, and you'll have your $1,000.
All right, if you were a mallard, what would you be?
Mallet on steak with.
Mallard. M-A-L-L-A-R-D.
That'd be a duck.
That's right. Don't go any further, huh?
Well, you're halfway to $1,000. 2 more right, and you'll have it.
Now, we don't want you both to guess.
think
Now,
he
you
knows
talk
what
it
I-
over before you answer on this next one. Huh? Biology is the science that deals with living organisms. What is the science that deals with plant life? Now, talk it over before you answer. Biology is the science that deals with living organisms. What is the science that deals with plant life? Well, you blew it. It's botany.
Well, you have 1 wrong, and if you get another 1 wrong, you're out of the $1,000.
All right, now don't get discouraged. The Indians called it maize, M-A-I-Z-E. What do we call it?
Well, there's one we call...
Talk it over now.
There's a plant called maize. It's
Yes,
raised
I
in
know.
lots of countries,
Yes, and
But
what is it called now?
but a lot of them called corn maize.
That's all right. Don't go any further. That's fine.
Well, you're back on the right track again. 3 more right, and you'll have $1,000.
It's very difficult getting the answers out of you, Miss Amy. Now, what is a shoat? S-H-O-A-T.
Middle-sized pig.
Now you're halfway to the $1,000 again.
All right, now you got 2 right. Now, what plant did the ancient Egyptians use for making paper? Talk it over. Come on, kid.
Papers.
Yeah. That's close
Papers.
enough.
You now have 3 rights,
All right,
one more,
now
and
you
you'll
get...
have the 1,000.
That's right. Now, here we go. What is the word for a baby frog?
Tadpole.
That's good enough. Tadpole is right.
Well, you got 4 in a row, and you now have $1,000.
Now, hear this. You've won $1,000. You can keep it and quit, or else you can go for $2,000 at the end of the show. If you try for the $2,000 later and miss, you wind up with $500 between you for the night. Now, you go over there and sit down and think it over. We don't want you to make a snap decision. It's a lot of money, you bet your life.
Now, in just 1 minute, we'll see if any of our couples is going to try for the $2,000 question tonight.
I'd like to take a break for a minute and talk about the new DeSoto for 1957. You know, a car plays a big part in the lives of all of us these days. So when something real newsworthy comes along in the automobile world, I know you're all interested. And the 1957 DeSoto is newsworthy. New looks, new riding quality, new power. Actually, it's a whole new car. And it goes on display at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers on October 30th. So take my advice and see it. And you're in for a real thrill. All right, George, let's proceed.
Well, Groucho, it's time to report on what our couples have decided to do about going on for the big money. Our last couple, Annie Wilkins and Von Corrigian, have decided to stop with the $1,000 they've already won. But we have a different situation with our first couple. Mrs. Hummel has decided to drop out with her half of the winnings. But here's Jim McKinley, who is ready to take his chance with his half for $1,000.
Now, if your partner decided not to go along with you, is that right?
That's correct.
If you get it right, you wind up with $1,000. If you miss it, you get $250. Clear?
Fine.
Here we go. Standing in the Louvre in Paris is a headless statue known as the Nike, spelled N-I-K-E, of Samothrace. For $2,000, what is the common name of this famous headless statue? Very famous. You know? What do you say?
Well, I think it's the Venus de Milo.
No, I'm sorry. It's
Aphrodite?
the Winged Victory.
Winged Victory.
Winged
Okay,
Victory.
you've got
Now,
it.
wait a minute.
All right.
But you wound up with how much now?
$250 as I feel.
That isn't so bad.
No, it's
Congratulations,
fine.
huh?
I enjoyed it.
And thanks from the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America and for all our contestants.
Thank you.
Thank you. Don't forget, there's a real exciting new car coming. The new DeSoto will be here October 30th. See it at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Be sure to tune in again next week, same time, same station, for Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. Don't miss the Chrysler Corporation's big television show on another network. And don't forget to listen to Groucho on radio every Saturday afternoon. Brought to you by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. This is George Fenneman signing off with a reminder from the National Safety Council. Don't be guilty of glaring headlights. Have them checked and adjusted right away. Here he is, Groucho Marx, in You Bet Your Life. Presented by DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America.
The time has come, it's very clear.
Hold it. There's no point in showing you that picture anymore. A brand new DeSoto is on the way, and it's real exciting. But we let the singers continue.
The most exciting car today will be delighting the far highway. It's the lovely, it's dynamic, it's DeSoto.
It's coming to your DeSoto Plymouth dealers October 30th. The exciting new 1957 DeSoto. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is hand. H.
Ham?
Hand.
You keep me out of this, huh?
H-A-N-D.
Oh.
And now the one, the only...
Well, here I'm again with a chance for each of our couples to win $2,000 tonight. George, who's first to try for it?
Well, Groucho, Mrs. Hazel Hummel and Mr. Jim McKinley are ready to talk to you, so won't you go in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word, and you each get an extra $50. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Hazel Hummel and Jim McKinley, eh? Well, Jim, you're a fine figure of a man.
Thank you, Groucho.
Are you any relation to the famous President McKinley?
Well, I take that claim, yes, as long as he turned out to be a good president. If he'd have been a horse thief, I'd have denied the whole thing. I would have nothing to do with it.
Well, it so happens I was referring to Sam McKinley, who was a horse thief. He was also president of a very small lodge. Now, Mrs. Hummel, are you related to McKinley?
Well, I can't say I am, Groucho. I would like to.
Well, Hazel, you know, I used to go around with a nut named Hazel. This was some years ago. No, this is true. She wouldn't come out of her shell. Well, which Hazel are you, Hazel? Huh?
I'm Hazel Hummel.
Oh. Well, where are you from, Hazel?
I came from the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado.
Oh, is that so? How did you like Denver? Huh?
Well, I was only there 6 weeks, so I couldn't remember very much about it.
So what? I was in Paris only 6 hours, and I can tell you plenty about it. And I was a mile high all the time I was in Paris. You're married, I presume. Is that right?
Yes.
Kind of sheepish about it, aren't you, Hazel? Huh?
No.
What sort of work does your husband do?
Well,